You didn't sign up for this. At least, not like this. It's past midnight. The wind howls across a forgotten airfield. A dim orange glow from the horizon flickers like it's holding back a storm. And then, headlights. A black unmarked van comes to a slow, silent stop in front of you. You step out, and 5 others do too. No phones. No bags. No clocks. Only the same thought looping in your mind. Where are we? And then you hear it. A voice through your earpiece. Calm. Unfamiliar. You are no longer on Earth. The runway stretches into darkness behind you. In front, a massive metal hangar, sealed shut. It hisses open, not with applause, not with lights, but with the eerie groan of steel being disturbed for the first time in years. Inside, there are no banners. No instructions. No MrBeast jumping out in confetti. Only a flat screen, flickering with one line of white text. Escape to space. That's it. No context. No rules. And behind you, the hangar door closes slowly. Click. You're locked in. Each of you is led into a separate chamber, bare, windowless, sterile. A voice announces. Your environment is custom designed. You will not be harmed. You may not remember everything. The first to escape will not return to Earth. The lights dim. Gravity shifts. Your mind does something it has never done before, it loses track of up and down. Left and right. Time. The camera pans to an overhead shot, 5 isolated rooms, side by side, inside a dome buried in an undisclosed desert. Each room is its own ecosystem. One glows with a blue artificial sky. Another simulates total darkness. Another echoes with distorted sound waves, like a memory trying to reach you through static. One has no sound at all. Just breathing. And the 5th, flickers between all of them. Each room is watching. Each room is testing. And each participant is beginning to realize, there is no countdown. No music. No indication that the challenge has even started. Just a soft hum, like a machine idling behind the walls of your mind. The first realization hits in the quiet. You're alone. Not just separated. Not just isolated. But, detached. Detached from time. From direction. From yourself. In room 3, participant number 3 wakes to find the walls have shifted. What used to be white is now a velvet black. Not darkness, texture. The room pulses, almost breathing. When they walk, the floor feels different every time, hard, soft, cold, sticky. A trick? A test? They whisper, even though no one's listening. What do you want from me? A flicker. A screen appears, floating midair. It displays a single phrase. How far would you go to leave everything behind? The screen disappears. They're left in silence, until the ceiling begins to lower. Room 1 is full of noise. Not music, not voices, but memories. Distorted. Echoed. MrBeast's voice, from old videos. Last to leave. 24 hours in. $10,000 if you. Then, silence. Then, their own voice from childhood. Mom? Participant number 1 shouts. Stop. This is fake. A wall slides open. Inside, a hallway. Endless. Lit with blue LED strips. At the far end, a door. Marked with a glowing symbol, brain. They run. In room 5, the air begins to thin. Not dangerously, but noticeably. Breathing becomes a task. The lights stay on, but they dim with every breath. On the ground, a puzzle appears. No instructions. Just 12 metal pieces, all shaped differently. On the wall. Your mind is the rocket. Across the compound, no one knows what the others are experiencing. But MrBeast does. Inside a sealed control room, he watches. Not through monitors, through data. Heart rates. Audio spikes. Decision trees mapped out by AI. This isn't a game anymore. It's a psychological profile of who's ready to leave Earth, and who isn't. Then, the twist. Room 2 goes dark. Participant number 2 is standing in what looks like a normal kitchen. Stainless steel fridge. Microwave. A table with a single chair. But none of it existed 10 minutes ago. They open the fridge. Inside. A photo of themselves, from today. Wearing the clothes they have on now. But in the background? A place they've never seen. Suddenly, the voice returns. Escape isn't about moving forward. It's about letting go. The room begins to fold in on itself. Walls rotate. Gravity tilt. The clock ticks. But not for you. For someone else. Somewhere inside this vast, simulated compound, a transmission is preparing to go out. And the players are no longer just participants. They're data points. But one of them is about to become something else. Participant number 1 sits in front of the glowing door marked brain. They didn't walk through it. They refused. Instead, they spoke to it. Whispered to it. Sang to it. And now, it's whispering back. Static, at first. Then a voice. Familiar, but modulated. A scrambled version of MrBeast. You've proven you can question the test. Now we'll test your questions. Suddenly, their room changes. The walls vanish, revealing a landscape of stars. But no planets. No moon. Just void, and a single blinking light. A red one. The signal. It pulses like a heartbeat. Participant number 1 hears it, not with their ears, but inside their mind. Meanwhile, participant number 2 is no longer alone. A drone, silent and black, hovers into the room. It projects a face, not MrBeast's, but an AI-generated version. Too symmetrical. Too smooth. You are broadcasting. Keep talking. Participant number 2 stares. Then speaks, who's listening? The algorithm. You're trending. The drone beeps. Now dance. A spotlight appears. Music begins, glitchy, warped, familiar. Participant number 2 refuses. You dropped out of the top 3. The drone vanishes. Elsewhere, participant number 3 reaches the edge. Not metaphorically. Literally. Their room ends. An invisible wall. Beyond it? Machinery. Screens. Servers. They see the simulation's back end. And it sees them. A booming voice. You weren't supposed to find this. Sirens blare. But instead of running, they stare into the circuitry. On one of the monitors, a live stream of themselves, sleeping. Suddenly, the screen glitches, then shows them awake, standing here, watching the feed. A loop. A loop of consciousness. The voice returns. If you understand the system, you must choose. Control it, or delete yourself from it. A keyboard slides out of the wall. 2 buttons. Radio button speak. Radio button silence. They hesitate. Participant number 4 is already gone. Or, upgraded. They now float. Not in zero gravity, but in suspended logic. Their body is still. But their mind is accessing files. Memories of places they've never been. Emotions they never felt. Each thought unlocks another memory, someone else. The upload bar isn't just a progress meter anymore, it's your heartbeat. The silence was unbearable. Jimmy stood in the dim blue glow of the onboard monitor, the only light source left in what felt like a slowly shrinking coffin. Around him, the sterile metallic walls of the pod had started to feel less like a vessel and more like a trap. He wasn't alone, not technically. A dozen other contestants were sealed in similar pods, linked through a shared challenge. But none of them could speak. None of them could see each other. And none of them knew if they were still alive. Or still sane. The premise was brutal in its simplicity. Each contestant had to upload a 10-minute video documenting their journey, but only one would be broadcast. The others? Deleted. Their footage, and possibly more. The moment Jimmy activated his camera, a countdown began, subtle, silent, but impossible to ignore. 10 o'clock, 9:59. 09:58. He stared into the lens, trying to find something honest to say, something that would make this more than content, more than a game. But every time he opened his mouth, the silence screamed louder. What if he said the wrong thing? What if he wasn't dramatic enough? What if the algorithm skipped over sincerity? His voice cracked. Hey. It's Jimmy. Or at least, I was Jimmy. I'm not sure what I am now. Upload or die. Not a metaphor this time. Not clickbait. This was the final stage of the loop, the challenge where entertainment and survival collided. As the recording continued, strange things began happening inside the pod. The oxygen meter dipped slightly. The lights flickered, once, twice. His heart rate monitor spiked. And then, the first error message. Storyline insufficient. Please restructure narrative. He blinked. What? He whispered aloud. The system had spoken. But not to evaluate him as a person, only as a performer. Jimmy rewound the footage, desperately trying to edit mid-recording. He added drama. He cried, genuinely this time. He begged. But the system didn't care about tears. It wanted arcs. Hooks. Redemption. The formula that billions of eyes had been trained to crave. He slumped against the wall, breathing heavily. His hand reached toward the emergency panel. A glowing button read, Final upload, hold TO commit. But his hand paused mid-air. What was he uploading? Himself? His story? Or a version of himself that the machine would deem worthy of being remembered? Somewhere outside his pod, a different voice began speaking. Another contestant. A girl, from the sound of it. Her voice was raw but confident. I'm not here to win. I'm here because I thought this was the only way people would hear me. Her audio started playing inside Jimmy's pod, a test, maybe. A threat. The algorithm comparing their recordings side by side, in real time. Jimmy realized, horrified, that her upload speed was faster than his. That meant one thing: she had been chosen. He hadn't. Unless he acted. Not spoke. Acted. Jimmy tore down part of the wall padding, revealing an internal panel. He yanked out wires, triggering a breach alarm. Then, as the oxygen levels dipped further, he crawled back to the camera, face bloody, breath ragged. They told us we couldn't touch the system, he rasped. But they didn't say we couldn't expose it. Now the bar moved again. Upload progressing. 45%. 52%. 67%. The pod around him began to hum. A low, guttural mechanical sound, as if the machine itself was digesting his desperation. He laughed, almost manically. There. That's the content you wanted, right? Pain. Resistance. Heroism. Eat it up. 98%. 99%. The light cut out. Darkness. Silence. Then, a soft ding. Upload complete. Transmission accepted. Jimmy woke up on a different floor, face down on cold glass. Lights flashed. Screens flickered. And somewhere in the distance, a voice, automated, neutral, final, declared. Congratulations, MrBeast. You have been renewed. But renewed into what? As he stood up, camera already repositioning to capture his next move, he realized something: the real challenge had just begun. Because once you've sold your truth to survive the feed, the algorithm never lets you log out.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that move the world. Thanks for watching.